Thank you so very much, Hafiz. It's another great day. And as he has introduced, we are going to be discussing this sort of coup or whatever it is in Niger. I think today is Friday, the 18th of August 2023. So we'll be discussing that issue. You remember on the 26th of July, there was, I don't know how to describe it, but some sort of insurrection, or what people say is a coup d'etat. So I don't know whether it's recorded.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's an insurrection. People say it's a coup d'etat, but the president of Niger was removed by a group of soldiers, and the president was Bazoum. He's now under house arrest, and then since his overthrow or detention, the ECOWAS, a group of countries in the western portion of Africa, the Economic Community of West African States, we have 15. We have 15 countries in ECOWAS. It used to be 16, but Mauritania has opted out, and we are now 15. The 15 have come together, and they say they are putting together a force, a standing force or whatever they call it, and that the soldiers should go back to the barracks and let Bazoum continue as the head of state of Niger. Now, but what are the reasons for the overthrow of Bazoum? They say since he's been there have been a lot of insecurity, and he appears to be doing nothing that much, to reverse the situation. There is unemployment in Niger, and then there appear to be no progress for Niger since their independence in the early 60s. And that's what has happened to that place, or is happening right now. Niger used to be part of, it was France that was the colonial power in Niger, and today they have a population of about 25.5 million. But of late, they have been having some challenges with some ISIS people, the Islamic State of the West African province, a group of so-called terrorists, as people refer to them as terrorists. They have been trying to overthrow the government there. And they have been fighting them. France has sent in a number of troops to help fight these people there. But the French have been there for between 9 and 12 years, and nothing concrete is happening. Now it has been found out that it is actually France that is financing and controlling the attacks being unleashed by these so-called terrorists on Niger. They want to destabilize the place because they want to send their people there, their soldiers there, and continue to maintain them there. This is what is happening in Niger. This is what is happening there. So they found out, because they got to find this out, because anytime they were able, the Niger authorities were able to identify the location of the terrorists, the French would tell them to wait, and that they would do further investigations. Then they go and tell the people to run away. And then they have even got a pact with France that the Niger soldiers in Niger cannot go and attack terrorists unless they had clearance from France. This is what has been happening. Then also, some Western countries have been able to come, newsmen, journalists have been able to come and then go to the hideouts of these terrorists, so-called terrorists, and then, or Islamic jihadists, and interview them. How have these people been able to get, the location of these terrorists? And France, that has been there supposedly helping Niger, cannot identify the place. And these people come from France, they come from America, they come from Europe. And they're able to locate the terrorists and go and actually interview them. You see, so this sort of sparked the suspicions of the Nigerian soldiers that no, something, untoward was happening. And look, any time, and there were certain times that Niger was able to identify the local or location of these terrorists, they went and then they killed them, and the Western press started talking of human rights. The terrorists that France says it is coming to fight, its own journalists came and when they said that Niger was violating human rights. Meanwhile, these were identified and certified terrorists. So these were the reasons that the soldiers said, no, we cannot go and be dying, and this Bazoum is there. Bazoum is of a minority Arab tribe there. And he's said to be a very good friend of France and also of America. America has a huge, large, drone air base. The largest in the world is in Niger at Agadez. The northern portion of Niger. Niger is a very large country indeed. How has America been able to come and establish this huge base in Niger? And what is Niger getting getting back from it? And more often than not, when the Americans set up a base like this, no Nigerian, your own country, it is out of range, or it is, you are not allowed to go anywhere near that base. And when they are bringing any equipment, you are not allowed, either the customs in France, the security in France, are not allowed to have a look at them. What sort of agreement is that? What sort of agreement is that? So even though nobody wants a coup d'etat in Ghana, or no, I say Ghana, even the whole ECOWAS region, because the whole the ECOWAS region has been rocked by more coups d'etat than any other theater or zone in the whole of Africa. The ECOWAS region has always been, it's like a live volcano of coups d'etat. The coups were staged first, immediately after we started having our independence from 1957, and they were actually engineered by the West, France, Britain, and America, because they found out that the new crop of African leaders that we had were very smart and were trying to industrialize Africa, and they didn't want it like that. They wanted that to still remain, a raw, resources producing nation, so that they will come and collect the raw things that we are able to produce away and go and turn them to finished products. They were so far. Which Western country? Sometimes they will talk of big amounts of money. America will say, oh, we have pumped $500 million into Ghana. Go and show me one single thing the United States of America has done for Ghana. Only one. Go and show it to me. Apart from this dam that, years ago, we had to get a loan and put up the Kosombo Dam or the Volta Dam. Go and show me one single thing that America has done in the whole of Africa, or even France. What has France done for Africa? Nothing. So they started those coups d'etat, and later on we said, no, we don't want those types of coups d'etat. Now, after the coups d'etat, the soldiers also found out that they could also be heads of state, so they also started another new wave. And later, from about 79, when Rawlings came, the trend of coups d'etat changed, and, it adopted a new approach that, no coups should be staged, because, the coups that were staged so far never benefited Africa. But now we are having a new set of coups d'etat. We went into democracy, everybody jumped on board. But when we talk about democracy, what exactly do we mean by democracy to an African? Our type of democracy is the so-called model of the democracy that is in Europe and America. But are they democratic there? If you want to know whether the people talking about democracy, government of the people, for the people, by the people, go to the United Nations and see whether we have the United Nations, that is an institution that is there, a world body of countries that are there to ensure there's peace and development, education, and the rest of that stuff. Is there any democracy inside there? Is there any democracy inside the United Nations itself that is in New York in America? When the people come and talk, democracy, there's no democracy in your place. Is there any democracy in the United Nations? Britain is a tiny little country. They have a member of this with a permanent member with the Security Council. Whatever the body of the people in the United Nations decide on, Britain, that small country of 65 million, they can veto it. France is there also in Europe. They can veto it. Then you have China. They can veto it. You have America itself. They can veto it. You have Russia. They can veto it. Africa has a population of 1.4 billion people. Africa has nobody in that United Nations. And you are talking about democracy. India has a similar population of 1.3 billion. There is no single Indian in the Security Council. There's no India is a permanent member there, cannot veto anything. Then you come and be talking about democracy. Do you know what democracy is? But of course, we said, oh, let's go for democracy. You see, the first error and mistake we made was that we think democracy means form political parties, go get into elections, everybody exercises his vote, and somebody comes as president. This is what we seem to have started. But we have seen that instead of adopting the African type of democracy, and I don't know why our institutions and universities, they go teaching something they call democracy. Meanwhile, Africans, our tribes, go to our tribes and see the sort of democracy that they exercise there. To select a chief, come and see the way a chief is installed or skinned. Come and see how it is. Totally democratic. In some of our tribes, it is women who actually propose who should be their king or their chief. And there are ways and means of getting that chief. You can access the chief through, there's a whole council that is around the chief. You can take your matter there. There are ways of distilling the chief. Then we go and get political parties. And when we have this political party, they will corrupt the voting system. The electoral commission itself will be corrupted. Then the voting system is corrupted. Ballot boxes are stolen. They go and then print fake ballots and then starve the listen. People are killed during election time. So this has been going on for some time. You are talking about democracy. Well, the group of West African states of the ECOWAS region, their armies have been meeting and they are now in Accra. And then they say they are putting together, a standing force, and that if push comes to shove, they will attack Niger. I said, you people, you don't know what you are talking about. You can never attack Niger. No, but look, you can't go to Niger. If anybody dare send any group of soldiers into Niger, there will be conflagration throughout the whole of the West Africa, the whole ECOWAS, all the countries there. There will be complete conflagration. Look, we have top security and intelligence analysts throughout Africa and the West African zone, for example, ECOWAS. They have been telling them, do not go threatening the people in Niger. Have they done their studies about Niger well? For more than 12 years, Niger has been into fighting insurgents. They are in the field. They are seeing people dead, people maimed, people injured. They are firing. Their soldiers are on the alert. What is the strength of the army in Niger? Niger now has about 33,000 soldiers there. And they are hoping by next year, 2024, 2025, they will have 50,000. And they say that by 2030, they will have 100,000 soldiers in Niger. 100,000. What are the numbers of soldiers that we have? Nigeria is the only country with a number of soldiers. But they have been fighting Boko Haram for how long now? They cannot win. The next one will be Ghana, because Ghana is the second, biggest state with a bigger GDP than any other country in the ECOWAS region. How many soldiers do we have? We do not have up to 30 or 33,000 soldiers. We do not have that number. Now, military experts, people who have been studying this type of thing, say that if you are going to attack someone, in his country, for example, you have to get at least 3 times the force that that country has. That means that we must mobilize at least 90,000 people to go and fight the army of Niger, who are about 30 to 33,000. You have to mobilize 90,000. And those 90,000, where are they going to pass? They cannot go through northern Nigeria because the states in northern Nigeria, there are the northern states, about 7 of them, say that they will not allow anybody to pass through their area to go and fight Niger. Are you going to pass through Ghana and go through where? Burkina Faso says, if you declare war on Niger, we will declare war on you. So you can't go through Burkina Faso. And the same to all the other countries. And Mali say, look, if you attack them, you attack us. Even Algeria says anybody who enters Niger, they'll fight the person. So have we done our studies well? Now, when you come to raw military strengths, we are saying they have between 30 and 33,000 soldiers right now. But is that all? No. More than 90%, 97% of the youth and people of Niger say they support the overthrow of Bazoum. So when you go, you are going to fight 25 million people there. And then they are making another dangerous error and a mistake. What an error and a mistake. You think when you go to Niger to fight them, you are going to find people in uniform? You will not see one single person in military uniform to fight. It will be a guerrilla warfare situation. It will not be a standing army who you can identify and say, this is a Nigerian soldier, open fire and kill him. You won't find that there. They will mobilize the youth and give them guns. The guy walking around you think is a woman, is holding a gun. It's a man holding a gun disguised as a woman. Will open fire on you and kill you. You think you will go and meet a force? You will never meet a force in Niger. They will adopt guerrilla war tactics, urban guerrilla war. I was in one before. I was in an urban guerrilla war on Friday, the 13th of April, 1975. I was in Lebanon when it started. It took more than 20 years for that war to be over. You will never know who is the enemy. They'll be wearing their boo-boos and other things. Now, have we done our studies very well? If we had done our studies very well, you will find out that when you go to Nigeria, the northern portions of Nigeria are Hausa Fulanis. The southern portion of Niger are Hausa Fulanis. In fact, before the British came and the French, that area, in fact, the capital of Usman Danfodio, who united the Fulanis and the Fulanis and the houses of that area. His capital was Marata in Niger. The capital of all Hausa Fulanis in Nigeria is in Niger. Buhari, the president who has just retired, himself of Nigeria, he is from Niger, his roots. His father came from Niger to settle where he is. I'm telling you. Even the current president, Tinubu was holding a Nigerian passport. He had a Niger passport. So, look, if you are fighting them, it means you are coming to fight for Hausa Fulanis. And they will never allow you. The Hausa Fulanis in Nigeria are very powerful and they are very strong. I'm telling you. That northern portion of Nigeria, when the southern portion of Nigerians, when they meet the Hausa, they'll say, Rake Dede. They'll bend down low. They are a powerful force there. They are in the military, they are everywhere. So if they say you cannot do anything. And then what are the resources to go and fight that place? What are those resources? Where are the resources that you have? When almost every one of those countries is suffering. Nigeria, they voted millions of dollars to go and buy armaments and come and fight Boko Haram. They stole the money. They shared the money. The people at their Minister of Defense and even the top generals, they shared the money and went and bought second-hand clothing. So some of the other ranks, the young men, they are the real fighters. So some of them, they killed their commanders, their officer corps. In Nigeria there. Where is that money to go and fight this war? And I hear France is giving you 25 million. France is giving you $25 million so that you go and kill your own brother. so that France will come and take their gold and then their uranium away. Is that what you are doing? I mean, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? Because we want to go and ensure that there is democracy. That democracy, let us start. Where is that democracy? Is it Nigeria? The Nigerian election that they had in February this year or so. Is it not being contested? It's not being contested. They even say Tinubu is not a Nigerian. And that he was a drug lord. And that America seized some drug money from him some years ago. And that he told lies of going to a school somewhere in America. They have found out that it was rather a woman called Bola Tinubu who went to that school, and that it is not this man. They are still investigating. How can you forge through fake elections and come out and say that that is what democracy is? Now, when you come to Benin, is there any democracy in Benin? When you come to Togo, this Nasingbe young man who has been there since the father died in 2005, will you call that democracy? Anytime his term is getting finished, he will go and change the constitution. That one you call democracy. When you come to Ghana here, during the election time, were people not shot? Were people not shot? Did the opposition not say that the election was a stolen verdict? Is that democracy? When you go to Ivory Coast, the president there, Alassane Ouattara, hasn't he changed the constitution so many times so that he will stay there? Didn't France itself come and then stage a coup d'etat for this Ouattara to become president? And he himself, he promised that he was going to hand over, but the person he wanted to hand over to quickly died. So he went and changed the constitution and said, no, I'm no more handing over, I'm going to stay. Is that democracy? Anybody that Alassane Ouattara has promised, he has been bringing people to take over from him. Anytime he brings it up, then he dies. Then he stays again. You think that's democracy? Go to Senegal. One Sal or somebody, he has been changing, tampering with the constitution so they can stay. Is that democracy? Is that why you want to go and remove these soldiers so that you have democracy? Look, they better be minded. I believe that statement that this ECOWAS, military men made, they listened a lot to, I believe they listened to the security analysts, and then the experts who know the whole terrain on the ground, even their military leaders. None of you, the whole ECOWAS of 15 countries, none of you can make a bullet if you are going to fight a war. Who is going to be giving you the bullet? You think the West can help anybody go and fight anything? They want you to destabilize the whole of the ECOWAS region so that you will go back to pre-independence economies. You don't know that common sense? You think you will just walk in and then walk out? America went to Afghanistan. How long did they stay there? 20 years. Did they win the war? They never won that war. They went to Iraq. They stayed for so many years, killed 1 million people. Did they win the war? They never won that war. Russia says it is just, it had some 2 weeks to enter, Ukraine and defeat them. Are they not still there fighting? You don't know that there's fatigue when you are fighting. When the people commit you, ECOWAS soldiers, to foolishly go there. After some time, when they see that you are not winning, they will send you anything. Your people will be killed for nothing. If you are going to go to Niger, make sure that you have as many body bags and coffins as the number of soldiers that you are sending there. And you will not meet any standing army. Nobody will be in any uniform to fight you. And who are you going to attack? Are you going to be bombing the military bases or camps? Or where? The whole population says 25 million. They say that we like this man. So who do you want to put there? You want to kill the 25 million so that Bazoum will come and be president over who? I think we should be serious for a change. We must be serious for a change. What the ECOWAS must do is to review. There are some 14 points, pillars of allegiance that the so-called Francophone states have signed on to, which makes them an appendage of France. People don't know this. This is what ECOWAS should be doing. If there is a war to be fought, ECOWAS must mobilize and go to France and fight France. Their policemen have been killing, people, the blacks there. They have been killing blacks there recently, 2-3 weeks ago. There were demonstrations all over France because somebody from the ECOWAS was killed. A policeman just removed his gun and shot him and killed him. Go and fight France. The 14 points of sort of linkage that the people, the Francophone region, have been forced to sign at the time of their independence. That is what we should go and tell France, to remove those draconian sort of appendages. They are meant to ensure that the whole of Francophone Africa will never ever be independent. It will never be. It won't happen. Number one, all their resources, whatever you get, all their exports, which are very important exports, must go to France. So if you are producing iron, if you discover anything, a French company must come and be producing that in your country. Anything that you find, a French company must come and do that. And then when they have made those productions, the first point of sale is France. The first choice of refusal is France. It's France who will say, oh no, we don't like this one, before you can sell to any other person. And when they get it and determine the price of the product that you are selling. If it is timber, they will tell you, France, you have to sell it to France, and they will tell you that this is how much we'll pay for it. And when they have paid, they have paid you this money with their own price, okay? You will not get that money. 85% of all what you sell, whether you sold it direct to France or any other country, 85% of the money will be deposited in the French, bank, the Bank of France. You can never collect that money. If you want that money, which is your own money, you have to borrow it. Your own money, when you are going, you borrow and pay interest on that money. Now, if you need an expert to do anything, you must contact France first for that expert. They will come and say, we cannot do it before you can go to any other person. All their armies, their armaments, their guns, anything that you want to buy for your army must be from France. All their soldiers, if they need external training, they must go to France. These are the things that ECOWAS should go and tell the French. What sort of things there? And you see, the youth, the young ones, you are walking about, you think you are independent. You are not independent. You are not independent anywhere. There's sort of laws and rules and linkages and agreements that they have signed with outside people. When you analyze them, no, there isn't one single state in the whole ECOWAS that is independent. It's a lie. You have all been colonized. They have asked us to, we have signed agreements that make us colonists of America and the other place. Look, if you hear of any country that has signed a military pact in Africa with America, America has colonized you. You are a colon. I'm telling you, it's so clear. Very clear. Because if they come and tell you that they can use your airwaves, okay, all your radio waves. They can use them without asking you. They can bring things in. You must not see them. You must not open them. You shouldn't know what they are. This so-called drone airport there. The people of Niger, their security order, they are not allowed to inspect anything. So they can bring nuclear bombs there. They can bring nuclear bombs there. Come and put them there. Very soon, you will see that they will put a space station there. They will put a space station. But it will be a launch pad for nuclear bombs. They will come and put them in Africa. You are there signing all sorts of worthless agreements that will debar you from going to find out what the person is doing there. Why should America come and put up a huge base in Niger? So our people ought to study these matters very, very well. Now, we are talking about democracy. What are the deliverables of democracy? It is that you should come and then ensure that there is progress in the country, that there is education, that there is good health, that there is employment, and then you lift the GDP of the country and then the earning power for your own people, so that your country, every country, should be the first choice of settlement and living of all its nationals. And not that things will be so hot, they are running to another place. You go and produce your best doctors, they will go to Europe and America. Your best nurses, they will go away and leave useless things there, here. And when all those who are meeting and they say they are the heads of state of all the ECOWAS regions, go and see how much money they have in France, they have in Britain, they have in America. All of them. Anytime they have money, they'll go and buy a house in Europe and all that. The monies that these our politicians have in America, Britain, Switzerland, and all the Western countries, if they bring it back to the ECOWAS region, we wouldn't need any aid from anybody. And you see, there is another thing that they keep doing to you, the Africans, but you are not aware of it. They will never say anything good about you. Now, as I speak now, you are hearing me very fast. And especially when you go to the internet or even your Facebook and TikTok and all that. The speed with which those pictures come to you. It was a Ghanaian who did it, Thomas Mensah, Dr. Thomas Mensah. He is the world leader of robotics. And then nanotechnology. He is the world leading scientist. Some of you will be hearing this for the first time. How many Africans know that? How many people in ECOWAS are aware that somebody from ECOWAS, from Ghana, Thomas Mensah, Dr. Thomas Mensah, he has made this Facebook, and when you are doing internet, the thing comes from. He's the one. You don't mention his name. You allow these people to come. CNN will come. If they are going to cover anything, they will quickly go to a poor place and go and show poor pictures that look at Africa. Anytime that there is a bad thing in any part of Africa, Africa has 54 countries. And as I told you, a population of 1.4 billion. If it is a small, hungry people in Ethiopia or Somalia, they say, Africa, go to Africa, come and see Africans, come and see them. It is, meanwhile, we have 54 countries. They continue to dampen your own, tell you that you are useless and worthless. That you are useless and worthless. And we are not doing anything. The West African, this ECOWAS, economic community, what sort of, have they ever come together and set up any meaningful economic module that is helping the youth? At one time, they wanted to set up a cement factory to get clinker and other things, make cement in Togo. Some countries outside managed to come bribe the leaders at that time. This was about 30 years ago. Bribe your leaders, and then they actually tore the whole factory down and cut all the machines into pieces, bits, and carried them to Cote d'Ivoire. They were melted in Cote d'Ivoire and sent them back to Europe. I'm telling you. We were going to set up so that we won't be importing cement. They say, what? Norway and other areas. They sell cement. They are always sabotaging you. And then you want to send our soldiers. Or when you go to some of the countries, the security men, their salaries are so poor. Then you send the man to go and die in Niger for what? Why should a Hausa soldier go and die in Niger, killing his own brother? Why should he do that? Look, if they say any soldier there, by all means, a lot of them will come back dead. And when it starts like that, you will bring confusion. Nobody in the ECOWAS region wants a coup d'etat. But what is happening in Niger is different. So if you box all together and say it is a coup against you, meanwhile you are not doing anything, your own democracy is a coup d'etat. Your own elections that you go through in order for you to become a president or whatever, it's a coup d'etat by itself. You kill people, slaughter people, steal ballot boxes, and do all sorts of stuff the boxes. You go through all manner of terrible to bribe people. And when you come, what do? We only get to find out that when there are no dollars and the exchange rate of the dollar is going up, everybody is crying. Not knowing somebody has collected the dollars the person's room. That is democracy. Democracy means the youth continue to be clapping for me and be coming. Just tell me I'm good. I'm good. We are doing well. MPP is doing very, very well. Have you ever heard anybody in the MPP say, since they came, the minimum wage of the Ghanaian worker, the youth, is 10,000 Ghana? Have you ever? Why are they not saying that since they came, the young people? Let us even take the youth who are with the MPP government. The minimum salary they are getting, every young man who holds an MPP card, his minimum salary is 8,000 Ghana a month. Have you heard that? They say, no, go and break the 8. break the 8. Then when they visit you, they give you 1,000 cedis. You go and buy tramadol and buy some weed. And then you get tea, and stay there and be drinking. You know? And it is the same with the NDC. Now they are in opposition, their eyes have opened. When they come, are they going to do any better? Are they going to do, if not because Mahama is the presidential candidate of the NDC, I'll say that they are also as worthless and useless as the NPP. They are as worthless and useless as the NPP. Look at the corruption, naked corruption that is going on in the country. When they are talking, no, don't talk about that one. No. If you talk about something, no. You are inciting people to rise. Everybody gets afraid. I was in the security system for so many years. You know, and I've been doing this job since this is my 54th year. I'm telling you, since 69, August. Exactly August. Oh, today is even 18th. Exactly. This is, if I told the 14th of August or 15th that I went to work. So it's exactly 54 years. I've been writing intelligence reports and security reports. I've spent my life in the most dangerous stations of this world. The Middle East in the 70s. I was in Lebanon, Syria, Egypt, Saudi Arabia. In fact, all my children were born in that place. So I have seen a lot about wars, civil wars, terrorism, and all that. I was one of the, not one, but the first pioneer officer to go and set up an office on terrorism. From the whole of Ghana. So I know what I'm talking about. You are not going to find any soldier there, any army man there. You won't find anybody. No Nigerian will wear any uniform and say he's a corporal or sergeant or general. They'll be wearing their boo-boos with their guns. You will come and laugh and they will shoot and kill you. They will shoot and kill you. And you think anybody is going to support you. And in any case, who are you fighting for? You will go and then kill Nigerians so that France will come and take their things away. Look at the sort of draconian and primitive sort of agreements that France has got with all those nations there, because they have promised the president that, look, we will protect you. Nobody can overthrow you. So he's having, I'm the president, yeah. Oh, the French soldiers are here. Oh, they'll just get up and protect me. Look at this. Look at this. And this is what Niger has started something new. Mali is doing something new. Burkina Faso is doing something new. All of them are telling France, get out. This is your wicked, treacherous, irresponsible and unacceptable, linkages you have with our economy. No, leave us alone. Then the same French say that the people are very primitive. In fact, in 1936, the French came to Senegal and those areas, Guinea, Burkina Faso, and collected people and then took them to Paris, 1936, and put them in a zoo. You know, a zoo where they keep animals. Then they were teaching them that, they say, for example, they were teaching the ABs. They say, say, they'll say, they say, b, they'll say, b, they'll say, ka, they'll say, ka. Then they say, L, they say, L, they say, s, they'll say, s. Then they'll turn and then the people watching, they'll turn and tell you, hey, you see the Africans, our anthropologists and all that, they have devised ways and means of teaching the African to be able to read and be intelligent. You people say that the African cannot read. We are teaching them. France has been able to come out with a model that can teach Africans. I'm telling you, this thing, go into your Facebook and look for it. You will find it. You will find the pictures are there. You say, you say, They say, Then the people come, hey, look, the African. So they can be taught. They say, yes, they can be taught. And the people were also sitting there. They didn't know. They just collected villages. And then they can be taught. Look, even during the Second World War, 1939, 1945, the Americans, these Americans you see, they said the black man cannot fight a war. And that the black man can never fly a plane. I'm telling you, so how can you have, your heads of state who don't have this knowledge I have about these things go and declare war on your own brother? America said that no African black can fly a plane. So the black Americans got mad and what, went and formed what they call the Tuskegee Airmen. Tuskegee Airmen. Go into your, internet. Tuskegee Airmen and read about it. They said you couldn't fly. And then when they saw them flying better than the white men, they gave them the worst planes. The planes that they gave them to go and fly were very slow and they were ancient and old. I'm telling you. So that they'll go and die and then they'll say, yeah, we told you, hey, black man cannot do anything. That is the way they look at you. By now they have gone there laughing. Oh, look at this Africa, they are very stupid. Oh. You are coming to fight your own brother. You are going to fight your own brother so that we'll collect their. Look, if they go there, if many young black boys hear the stupidity of these guys going there, there will be trouble for us all over here. None of us will be safe. How can you be so stupid? Are you saying that these are top politicians are not aware that France has these terrible neo-colonialist, agreements with their areas? In fact, it is estimated that the amount of money looted by France from Africa every year is $550 billion. In fact, one French president said that, look, you people, do you know something? If we abrogate our linkages with Francophone Africa, France will be worse than a third world country. He said it. I'm telling you. And they are sitting there, all of them, stupid idiots. They say they have universities. Some have been to the Sorbonne, all the universities. You are certain that you know of these agreements. You are not booting out these French people. And you, ECOWAS, you are sitting down there. And look at the nonsense they do. They will get up. Then the American president will say, yes, 54 countries in Africa. All of you, your president, all of you, come and meet me. Then Biden will be sitting down. Then we'll send the 54 there. Then they'll go, hey, yeah. Well, yesterday we went and met Biden. Yeah, How can any group of people be so stupid? And you people want America or Africa to industrialize and succeed? How can you have such idiots as your rulers? And how can you succeed? China will say that, hey, African leaders, all of you come and see me. Then you go, then he will talk. He doesn't talk to them. They talk at them. They say, we are coming to develop your place. Then they go to Russia. Then Russia, Putin will also talk to them. How many African states, look at Nigeria, have ever said, look, you, President of America, France, Germany, Britain, the Prime Minister, come and see me. Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard that? You see, the stupidity of the black man is germane. It is ingrained in his head. I'm the one telling you. It is there. Unless there is an operation to remove it. In fact, Trump said that Africa should be recolonized. If we go to fight Niger, we would have said, look, Trump, everybody will tell you that, yes, you have really sort of underscored your stupidity, just as Trump said. Why should you go and fight Niger so that France will go and loot their economies? Are you not listening? Are you not reading? And then you are going there because of 25 million. How much money has France sent to Ukraine to fight a losing war against Russia? How much? Billions upon billions upon billions. And when they were fighting, in fact, when they go fighting, and then Nigerians are feeling the heat and they want to run away, can they go to France? Will France accept people from Niger coming to stay there because of any war there? Will America accept them? We have people. Africa, you are lost. You are lost. So anyway, yesterday, normally we, those who are in the security and intelligence business, we say that there's a difference between what somebody says or writes and what he means. There's a big difference between what a person says and what a person writes and what he really means. This is one thing that everybody should note. So yesterday, I analyzed the pronouncements of these people who sat in Accra, and from what I can deduce is that they are saying, yeah, let's give peace a chance, and then we'll talk over it. They are toning down from the belligerent first amateur and then pronouncements that of beating of the war drums that they did. And that is why the Nigerians, they say that no politician from Nigeria should come there. No. Rather, it is the caliphate, the rulers of the north. They have been able to go to they have been able to go to Niger to talk to the people. As I told you, 54% of the population of Niger identify with northern Nigerians. After all, it is Niger up there and Nigeria down there. They are the same stock. They are the same people. They speak the same language. It was one country. It was one country until the French just came. They drew a line and then said, this is Niger. And then the southern portion, they said, this one is Nigeria. They are the same. And the capital of all the Hausa Fulanis in Nigeria, their capital is in Niger. It is in Niger, Maratha or something like that. That was the hometown of Osman Danfodio. So let us be very careful. If you do not know history, don't go and disgrace yourself. Do not go in and disgrace yourself. And I'm saying, Niger, their army is battle hardened. They have been fighting. It is not a small thing. All what we have been doing is to go for peacekeeping. Peacekeeping is even not peace enforcement. Peacekeeping is different from peace enforcement. Peace enforcement means that when you go and somebody is opening fire, trying to break, you can shoot and kill the person. But peacekeeping means even if they are doing anything, you don't have to fire at them. In any case, we have got Boko. Boko, it has been there. What have we been able to do up to now? What have we been able to do up to now? Nigeria has got Boko Haram. They cannot fight them. Now you want to cross and go and fight who? Look, fighting a war is not an easy matter. Even the food. And let me tell you, where Nigeria is, the logistics to keep a line open, so that you can even send the logistics is very difficult. It is not like a coastal place like Liberia and all that, where you can bring ships, the ships will carry food. Sometimes when we send our peacekeepers, go and see what they eat. They carry gari there. The soldiers, they are going to carry gari to Burkina Faso and go and eat and fight war. They will carry kenke there. They are going to carry kenke there. And stay where? Niger is landlocked. Where are you going to be carrying this food and going where? And don't you, I really, honestly, I don't understand what they are saying. Anyway, Algeria says if you come there, they will come and attack you. Burkina says they will attack you. And there will be a no-fly zone in the whole of those areas. You can't fly there. You put a plane there, they will finish you. And by the way, Wagner, which even the Americans fear, Wagner. Americans, they live on propaganda. The superiority of their armaments. They have all the Russians. The Russians are showing them all the Abraham's tank. This one, what? The Russians are using hypersonic bombs, and blasting them. They are you even know when the train is coming. Your radar cannot trace. Before you know, you are dead. And thermobaric weapons. A thermobaric weapon is a huge bomb. When it blasts, it will suck away all the oxygen. You can't breathe. If there's a heat, you fall and die. It's almost like an atomic bomb. You understand? So we just have to be very careful. I like the statement that was made by our people who met in Burma camp. And they seem to be toning down. They said they will explore all options. They will explore all options because they cannot fight any war there. And they'll be defeated. They can't fight anyone in Nigeria. They cannot. And if you go and if 30 Ghanaian soldiers or let's say 80 Nigerian soldiers die there, you think the government will live in peace? There will be a big problem for them. So it's not going to be that easy. What we are now resorting to in the ECOWAS region is what we call psy wars. We call them psy wars, psychological warfare. They bit more than they could chew. Immediately the coup happened, they were threatened to go and fight it, and sort of studying the situation. So I think let them give peace a chance, because we don't have the money. We are all broke. Ghana, we are going around borrowing money, and somebody will give you. How can anybody loan you money to go and fight? You don't make a bullet. You can't make a tire. Even your fuel, you cannot even produce fuel. Who is going to be carrying the fuel there? And Nigeria stupidly went and cut the electricity to that place. Meanwhile, the water that is making the electricity in Nigeria the water is actually coming from Niger. Then another thing is that Nigeria is now putting a pipeline to send gas from Nigeria to Germany. They are sending gas to Germany, and it is going through Niger. Niger needs this gas to get electricity. We are passing the gas through there. When they go and blow it up, haven't they finished it? Anyway, thank you so very much. The next program is coming. God bless all of you. Amen, amen, and amen.